everyone, welcome to Studious IELTS. My name is Surinder Chaudhary. Well, in IELTS, writing has always been a challenge for a number of students. Since I have been training them, I have seen them struggling with getting good scores. They might reach 6 or 6.5 at some point of time, but going beyond that has become a really difficult task for them. Well, in today's workshop, I have brought one particular type of essays that is very important and very frequently occurring in your IELTS examination, that is advantages and disadvantages. So in this workshop, I am going to talk about all the details through which you can get more than 8 bands in your writing, and I will also make you to write your own essays along with me. So please fasten your seatbelts and let's delve deeper into this workshop so that after watching this, you don't have to struggle in attempting such essays which are asking you to write advantages or disadvantages of a certain development. Okay, so first of all, we will have a look on the question how advantages or disadvantages appear in your examination. So this is the question in front of you. It has a certain development or a certain practice that has been done by a number of people, and the question is asking you to describe its advantages as well as disadvantages in your essay. Before I start discussing this with you, I have a number of tasks for you. First of all, when you will be listening to this video, watching it on your screens, I want you to do your own job. That is, you have to do your own writing as well. For example, if I have solved my introduction of this question, I would want you to pause your video and write your own introduction in your own words following my tips, so that at the end of this workshop, you can compare your writing along with my writing. This will be the best way, the most fruitful way for you to get hold of your writing skills. Secondly, I would also want you to write down all those words which I have used in this workshop, but you are a little aware of it, or I would say you aren't aware of it. So please write all those words and find the meanings of those words by yourself, so that you can also get hold of those words which are going to make your lexical resource really rich. So this is the task for you to go through. Along with that, I also want you to remember all those parameters which are used in the evaluation of your writing. For example, we talk about task achievement, we talk about coherence and cohesion, then there is lexical resource, and finally grammatical range and accuracy. I hope you are much aware about these. If you aren't, we have our own videos on that with proper examples and proper workshop how to understand all these 4 parameters. So before watching this workshop or even after watching this, I would recommend you to go to our channel and watch that video so that you can also understand these parameters in details. Because if you are doing your writing by keeping those parameters in mind, you will definitely get good scores. If you are don't doing that in an organized manner, it's going to be quite challenging for you. Okay, so as you know very well, whenever a task is in front of you, before going to the answer, your first step is to understand your question, understand the prompt that you have been provided by the examiner. So what is our prompt today? Have a look at it. The prompt says, today more and more tourists are visiting places where conditions are difficult, such as Sahara Desert or the Antarctic. So, question is, there are a number of visitors who are willing to go to such places which are really extreme if we talk about their conditions. If that happens, does it have benefits with it, or does it have disadvantages with it? If both are there, you have to describe that in your essay. So please understand the topic first. What topic is? In nutshell, topic is about the habit of or a practice of a number of tourists who love to go to difficult places, and they have also given some examples of these difficult places. What are the advantages associated with it and what are the disadvantages associated with it? This is something the essay is asking us to describe. Along with that, what we have to do, We have to plan our essay. The next step after understanding the question, the next step is to plan our essay. So in that planning, I would always recommend you to have 4 different segments of your essay. There should be an introduction, then it should be followed by body paragraph 1, and body paragraph 1 should carry one aspect of your question. For example, there are 2 aspects here. One is benefits of that development, second is the disadvantages of the development. So in body paragraph 1, you should be clearly talking about the benefits. Then there should be body paragraph 2. In body paragraph 2, you should describe your disadvantages very clearly. And finally, there should be a conclusion. Right? This should be the organization of your entire structure of your essay. Finally, one more thing is really important for the sake of your coherence and for the sake of your task achievement. The whole conversation that is beginning from the introduction and ending at conclusion should be having the similar theme. There should be a proper smooth transition of ideas from one to another. If those are not connected with one another, even then there is going to be a real big problem. If you can do that, if you can connect them really nicely, your essay is going to be a good one. Okay, so now we will move to our introduction part. As I told you, first I will solve the introduction, then I would want you to pause the video and write down your own introduction and match it with mine. So let's go ahead. So we have understood the task. First thing first, what do we do in introduction? In introduction, we are supposed to paraphrase our statement in our own words by using different synonyms, by using different types of sentence structures. Some things definitely don't change. For example, if you have to talk about Sahara Desert, or if you have to talk about the Antarctic, these will definitely not change. But the surrounding things will have to be changed, will have to be paraphrased properly. How? Let's have a look. Okay, there is some technical glitch. Okay, that's in front of you. In introduction, what you have to do, you are paraphrasing it by saying, as they said, today, something is happening today. So we have started it by saying, in recent years, then further they are talking about the tourists and their current attraction towards exploring some difficult situations. So how have we explained that? By saying, the attraction of exploring extreme environments such as Sahara Desert or the Antarctic has captivated an increasing number of adventurous travelers. So you can clearly see we have covered the entire part of the statement by using different words. For today, we have used recent years, right? The attraction of exploring extreme literally stands for their habits of visiting places which are difficult in conditions, right? Moving ahead, Sahara Desert or Antarctic cannot be definitely paraphrased, so you don't have to do that. You can mention those words as they have been mentioned in your statement. All right, more and more tourists, they said, and we have converted into increasing number of adventurous travelers. So this is potato. You know that these are words which are having similar meanings, but definitely we have changed the entire statement into a paraphrased one. So why do we do that? Because in your essay, you are supposed to show your range in your vocabulary as well as in your grammatical structures. If you paraphrase it properly, grammatically correct paraphrasing is there, the examiner is going to give you the value for this. He or she is going to give you scores for this perfect paraphrasing. Okay, now the second part of question exists. Second part is describing the benefits and disadvantages, advantages and disadvantages. So what are we supposed to do here? A number of students make a mistake by just saying that after this part, they just say that there are a number of advantages and disadvantages associated with this phenomena, and this essay will discuss those advantages and disadvantages in details. Okay, grammatically okay, doesn't matter. But it's not the thing that will get you 8 bands. For that, you will have to give some passing reference to those advantages and disadvantages which you are going to explain in your subsequent paragraphs. So if you have introduced them here in your introduction, it is going to be really easy for you to make it coherent throughout the essay. For example, you have introduced your points here and then you are explaining them one by one in your body paragraphs and finally concluding the similar ideas in your conclusion part. How do we do that? Let's see. Okay. In this part, what do they do? Read it with me. While these remote and challenging landscapes promise unparalleled experiences, obviously people go there for the sake of experiencing something extraordinary, they also present a spectrum of benefits and disadvantages for tourists. These practices, going to such extreme places, may pose different things. Some might be positive, some might be negative. It might be a good canvas of positive as well as negative outcomes. What those positive and negative outcomes can be, this is really important to be mentioned here, obviously in a very short way, but it is important to mention it in your introduction part. Okay, what they say, for tourists from the allure of adventure and discovery. So, what are the positive parts? The attraction for adventure as well as the discovery of something new, something which hasn't been done before, something that is really challenging but obviously satisfying too. But what is the second part of that spectrum? That is the challenges of personal safety, because these are extreme conditions, and physical endurance. If these are extreme conditions, these will certainly require you to be really strong physically. So these are some of the challenges which will be faced by people. So this is my introduction. Obviously, in introduction, you don't have to go in a lot of elaboration, but you just have to mention some of the parts which are to be explained further. So throughout the essay, we are going to talk about these parts, which I already have mentioned in my introduction. Only then your task achievement will be good. Secondly, only then your coherence is going to be appropriate. Task achievement, why do I say that? Task achievement can be assessed in two parts. One, have you covered all the parts which has been asked in the question? One part of task achievement. Secondly, is your draft actually really in the same stream that has been started in introduction? If it goes this way, it is going to be good task achievement. So remember that you can mention those points in your introduction, but then you are supposed to elaborate these points only in your body paragraphs. So that was introduction of your essay, which you can clearly do by yourself now. Please pause the video, right? And write your own introduction by understanding this structure and compare that it with this. And I would also recommend you to write your introduction in the comment box after writing it. Then we will proceed with the video further. All right. I really hope you have written your introductions, and I now want to post these introduction parts in the comment box so that I can also read your creativity skills, how far you can go to get good scores. So going ahead in our workshop, now we are going to move to the next paragraph, that is body paragraph 1. I have kept the entire statement at the top so that you can correlate things with it throughout your essay. All right. So in body paragraph 1, what we are going to focus upon, we are going to talk about the benefits, the advantages that has been asked in our question, and what those benefits are. Those benefits are already mentioned in our introduction, and our entire body paragraph 1 is going to focus upon these so that our coherence can be achieved clearly. Okay, we have two benefits because obviously they are asking us to talk about advantages. That should be plural. So we have taken two of these. One is adventurous activities or the adventurous satisfaction of those travelers. Second is discovery by those people. Okay. How we will start this part? Have a look. It says, embarking on the expeditions into extreme environments offer gallant travelers a unique opportunity to immerse themselves in the raw beauty and grandeur of the natural world. Obviously, this is a positive part for those people, because those who are adventurous, those who are gallant and very brave, they have an opportunity to go to such difficult conditions, to go to those expeditions, those journeys, where they can experience the natural beauty as well as the grandeur of that world. Now, this is the positive side of it. That is why they want to go there. That is the one plus they get from there. Okay, going ahead, because obviously we have introduced the idea. The idea is adventure. They go there for adventure, to experience that adventurous journey over there. How do we have to develop it? By giving some more supporting ideas with it. Okay, further it says the Sahara Desert, with its towering sand dunes and endless horizons, beckons adventurers with the promise of unparalleled solitude and serenity. We can clearly see, first we introduce the part that has been mentioned in our advantages, that is adventure. Why people go there? To experience the adventure. What kind of adventure they experience there? This has been exemplified now. If we talk about Sahara Desert, in Sahara Desert there are a number of things that are in front of you which can be clearly experienced by those travelers, and they can have a great journey for themselves. Okay, moving ahead, if we talk about the second idea, right, obviously that is related to Antarctic, right? What Antarctic offers in it. They say the Antarctic enchants visitors with its pristine expanses of ice and snow, providing a canvas for unforgettable encounters with penguins, seals, and other iconic polar wildlife. So you can clearly see we have completed our explanation of first advantage, that is adventure, right? Why people go there? We said that why people go there? To experience the adventure of those extreme conditions. They talked about two places. One was Sahara, one was Antarctic. On those places, what can we experience? Obviously, we know that Sahara is a desert, and in desert, dunes are specific things, or the life which is quite difficult, but obviously very serene as well, right? Very isolated kind of life. So they experience that there. If we talk about other part, that is Antarctic, this is completely covered with snow, and life there is also very difficult, and wildlife is existing there. You know what is the part of that wildlife, like penguins, they say, seals are there, or even some other animals or other parts of nature that are existing there. So the idea was introduced, properly developed, given some examples, and here we complete the talk about our first advantage that has been associated with this journey. Moving ahead, if we talk about the second advantage, that is about discovery. So how discovery is made of the things? If you go through that adventure, you end up having some discoveries for your own. Like, for tourists seeking adventure and thrills beyond the ordinary, if they go to extraordinary places, these extreme environments offer an unparalleled playground for exploration and discovery. If they go to such adventurous places, they will certainly find some things, some phenomenons that has not been explored earlier. These are new for them, and finding anything new which is extraordinary is quite soul satisfying. So this is what that has been associated with the advantages of this development. So if you write in this way, first of all you have to introduce your idea with good vocabulary, right? Vocabulary that is not being repeated, right? Secondly, that is obviously connected to the thought, because you cannot go beyond. You have to use the synonyms which are very much related to the topic itself. Then development of thought is really important. They said that it is adventurous. People go to those adventures for their own satisfaction, to experience the grandeur and the beauty of that natural world. And what kind of beauty is found there? And this is the supporting idea for your first advantage, right? Then you also move to your second advantage. Second advantage is, of course, the discovery of unfound, something that hasn't been explored previously, or something that is not very common. If you experience it, if you explore it yourself, it also gives you satisfaction. That is why those adventurous travelers like to go to such extreme places. So this is how we mention our advantages. Okay, pause again and please write your own BP1 and give me your advantages with the proper developed thought. You can write it down, post it in your comment box, and we will see that how well you have written. All right, moving ahead. The second part of our essay, that is disadvantages. Right? In BP2, we are going to talk about the disadvantages associated with the journeys to extreme environments, extreme places by the travelers. All right, we already mentioned two disadvantages in our introduction part. One was about personal safety. It is challenged when it comes to visiting such places. Then there is physical endurance that is quite essential for people who are going to extreme conditions. So let's see how can we explain them, how can we develop ideas around them. So first of all, if we talk about personal safety, how is it actually challenged? Please remember, when you are changing your idea for the sake of cohesion, your connectors are really important. You know, in this essay, firstly, you talked about advantages, but now you are going to explain something that is contrary to advantages. So it is very important that you start your BP2 with the relevant connector so that you can give the sense that you are transitioning from one idea to another idea very smoothly with the relevant connector, right? So please remember that these connectors are absolutely important to make your cohesive ties better. Okay. Now, it says, however, the allure of extreme environments is tempered by a host of challenges and drawbacks that travelers must contend with. No doubt, it was soul satisfying if we talk about the advantages, but it has its own challenges. What those challenges are? First of all, as they say, foremost among these is the inherent risk of personal safety posed by the harsh and unpredictable conditions of these remote landscapes. Obviously, on those places, it is going to be absolutely difficult for you to survive because weather conditions may be very harsh as well as very unpredictable because we do not go there very often and we don't know what may come next. So this is one of the challenges that travelers may have to face in those places which are really remote from our commonplace areas. Okay, developing this idea, it says from extreme temperatures, obviously what those challenges are, we are going to talk about those in details. From extreme temperatures and treacherous terrain to the threat of isolation and limited access to emergency services, tourists venturing into the Sahara or the Antarctic must navigate a myriad of hazards and obstacles with caution and vigilance. So if they go there, they have to face such problems, and to tackle them, they have to be really cautious as well as vigilant. This is how we develop our first disadvantage of going to such places. Moving ahead, obviously, we are moving from one idea to another idea. Obviously, similar one, we are moving to next disadvantage. We have to use another connector here for the sake of cohesion. It says, moreover, the physical demands of exploring extreme environments can prove daunting, requiring a level of fitness and endurance that may be beyond the capabilities of some travelers. So this is our second disadvantage, that if you are going to such places, it might require to be really strong physically. Otherwise, you will not be able to bear the challenges of those extreme conditions, which are going to create a lot of problems for you if you are one of those travelers. So I have explained both the drawbacks, both the disadvantages of this development by explaining them, developing the thoughts around them, and giving some supporting ideas like these problems. These are obviously, you can consider them the examples. For example, we said that there is a threat of isolation, there is limited access to emergency services. So these are some of the examples that are going to assist your idea to make it really genuine and relevant. So this is how we will explain our disadvantages associated with this development. Okay. Well, now again, I would want you to pause the video and write your BP2 and post it in the comment box so that I can understand how well you have written in the context of your BP2. Okay. Well, finally moving to the final part of our essay, that is concluding the entire debate. Now, it wasn't a debate, it might be a discussion that there are advantages as well as disadvantages. So now time comes that when we conclude the entire thing. Now, what is there, what was discussed, and what should be done, that should be the entire conclusion. So first of all, we will have a crux of our entire conversation. That crux says, while the appeal of exploring extreme environments is undeniable, definitely it is good, but it has some drawbacks by saying that it is accompanied by a complex interplay of benefits and disadvantages for tourists. No doubt you want to go there, you are tempted to go there, but keep in mind that apart from having some advantages, it also has some challenges for you to face. Okay, so we will conclude by giving our own idea, because if you want to get more than 8 bands in your IELTS essay, your ideas matter a lot. How do you finish things? What do you think about it? What did you understand from the entire conversation you had throughout your essay? If you give a proper crux of it at the end, examiner is going to be impressed with your understanding as well as with your explanation of the thought. But it says, though it exists, nevertheless, by approaching their journeys with mindfulness, respect, and a commitment to responsible tourism practices, adventurers can ensure that their exploration of extreme environments leaves a positive legacy for both themselves and the natural world they seek to admire and preserve. Right? They may go there, but while going there, they will have to be cautious, as well as they will have to be responsible and mindful towards the nature itself. If they do that, it is going to create a positive uh, thought, a positive narrative for everybody that it might be visited, as well as it should be very much respectful in terms of the things associated with those environments. For example, if wildlife exists there, you shouldn't interfere in that, right? The natural world is there, you shouldn't alter that, or you shouldn't try to create any mess there. That's what they want you to do, right, as an explorer. So this is how we are supposed to conclude it. We have to give the conclusion of the entire conversation, and finally your idea matters a lot. Your idea gives a sense that you understood the task really well and you explained it properly by including it in your own ideas. Okay, this is the final outlook of the entire essay. Please take a good screenshot of it and keep it for the reference, that whenever you're writing your advantages or disadvantages essays in your practice sessions, you will get a good help from it. Okay, so that's it from the workshop of advantages and disadvantages essays. If you want to be connected with us, contact details are in front of you. And if you really want to join our training, we are available offline as well as online, so that you can contact us and continue your training to get good scores in your IELTS. Thank you so much.